Okay, take a giant, deep breath in with me and let it all out. Ah, we usually do this totally on autopilot, right? But today in this explainer, we're uncovering your ultimate invisible superpower and what happens when it gets turned off. Get ready for the big breath countdown. So, imagine taking a massive gulp of air and puffing up your cheeks like a giant cartoon pufferfish. Just hold it right there. What's actually happening inside? You aren't just pausing. Your body is literally starting a wild, high-speed countdown. Now, your body is incredibly tough. Stranded on a desert island, you could survive for weeks without food and days without water. But without oxygen, you've only got a few minutes. We need fresh air more urgently than absolutely anything else. And here's a super crazy fact for you. Your brain is actually tiny, only 2% of your body weight. But imagine it's sipping on a giant oxygen smoothie. It hogs a massive 20% of every single breath you take. It's super greedy for air. Think of your body as a glowing, busy city. Oxygen is the electricity powering all the lights. But, burning fuel makes pollution. In your body, that waste gas is carbon dioxide. You've got to breathe in that fresh electricity and blow out the smoky exhaust. So how does the city make power? Well, through a process called cellular respiration. It's just your microscopic cellular engines mixing oxygen and sugar together. Boom, pure energy so you can run around, leaving behind some water and that smoky CO2 exhaust. Okay, here's a tricky question. When you hold your breath and you get that crazy panicked urge to breathe, what's actually causing it? Is your body sounding the alarm just because the oxygen tanks are empty? Actually, nope. It's a total sneaky twist. It's the carbon dioxide. While you hold your breath, that smoky exhaust turns into acid in your blood. Your brain tastes that acid and literally screams, "Hey, too much exhaust, breathe right now." So let's look at the biological ticking clock here. We're going to track exactly what happens second by second when you stop breathing. Tick, tock. Let the countdown begin. Right away in the first 10 to 30 seconds, your oxygen is totally fine, but that CO2 is building up fast. Alarm bells are ringing. You'll start to feel funny chest twitches, maybe a little diaphragm hiccup. Your body is basically shouting to open the airways. Push past 30 seconds and the suspense really ramps up. That smoky exhaust rapidly floods your body's streets. You might start feeling dizzy or anxious, your fingers might tingle, and your heart beats super fast just to pump whatever oxygen is left. And then, welcome to the danger zone. 1 to 3 minutes without a breath. The oxygen fuel tanks are hitting empty. Severe dizziness sets in, vision gets blurry, and your brain goes into total panic mode because its lights are literally flickering out. But wait, your brain has this crazy emergency trick. Fainting. Seriously, if you hold your breath way too long, your brain forces you to pass out. You relax, your airways open right up, and automatic breathing takes over to save your life. Pretty brilliant, right? But what if something is actually blocking the air? Well, between 3 and 5 minutes, things get really serious. Without that oxygen electricity, the heart and brain start shutting down. The heart struggles, and those precious brain cells face permanent damage. Let's zoom way in for a second. What happens when a tiny cell actually starves of oxygen? First, panic energy mode. Second, toxic acid builds up. Third, the cell swells up just like a water balloon. And fourth, pop, the cell is completely destroyed. Now, as you can see, human abilities are wildly different. An everyday kid can hold their breath for maybe 90 seconds. But world-class athletes, called freedivers, can hold it for up to 10 whole minutes. How on earth do they do that without popping their cells? They use freediver secrets. After years of training, they learn to completely relax and just ignore those screaming carbon dioxide alarms. They slow their heartbeats down to sip oxygen incredibly slowly, but they always have safety teams, so absolutely never try this alone. Not all body parts are equal either. Skin cells, they survive for hours without air. Muscle cells can last a couple of hours too, but brain cells are the fragile VIPs of the body. They only have a few short minutes before they desperately need rescuing. And that is exactly why everyday heroes learn CPR. By pushing really hard on the chest, they manually pump that trapped oxygen in blood. It pushes that vital electricity right up to the brain, buying crucial time until an ambulance shows up. It's summarized perfectly right here. Breathing may seem simple, but it is the lifeline that keeps every single cell in your body alive. Every inhale brings the fuel, and every exhale clears out the exhaust. It really is your most critical superpower. And that wraps up our deep dive into breathing. So here's a fun little challenge for you. How long can you safely hold your breath while sitting on your couch? Grab a stopwatch and let us know your time in the comments. If you had fun today, please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and share this explainer with your friends. Keep learning, and whatever you do, don't forget to breathe.